Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video, the fifth one of the day, so yeah, let's just hop right into it. A lot of people were complaining about the SPAL lining of the T90M, right? And reporting bugs about other tanks. So basically Gaijin did an answer to that. Okay, so they're responding to those problems. So let's just take a look on what they talk, and let's show a little bit in-game what they mean. So first things first, people were complaining about some stuff on the forums that were reported as not a bug, but sometimes it was other things. So for example, they say basically that when they classify something as not a bug in the reporting tool of the forum for the dev server, it doesn't mean exactly that it's not a bug itself. It's just a tag that they use where it cannot generally be forwarded. They say that sometimes when they know about this bug already, they will classify it as not a bug, for example. I had this as one of the things that I reported back in the day with the Yak 41's radar, for example, that they already knew. And there was another thing that I reported a while back that basically they already knew or something like that. I know that because it was fixed on the live server or later, and basically they never, it wasn't, forward because they already knew that that was a bug. So that makes sense, right? But they really need to rework on those tags because people get misled with that, and that's always a problem, right? But yeah, basically they're answering that. That's the major thing that they go around about this. So yeah, it's not an excuse. I really think that they need to work on that, on the tags and how they respond to reports especially. But yeah, it can cause a lot of miscommunication, as they say. But the main thing, people complaining about the T90M SPAL lining. The problem isn't the T90M actually having the SPAL lining, because in real life it actually has that. But the problem is that no other tank has that, right? And that was the main thing about that people were going on about complaining. So of course, they already are answering that, saying basically they are planning to add anti-fragmentation lining to other tanks as well. So that's very good news. The only thing is that they say that it's for those tanks that they have enough information on. They say that the only reliable data that they have on lining on this type of thing is for later versions of the Leopard 2 and the Swedish versions of that, the M3A3, of course, the Bradley, and the Striker. So not the Abrams and not the Challengers, not all the MBTs, right? So if you do have any information about tanks that are not mentioned here, these like Leopard 2s and the Bradley and the Striker, and you have this information and it's not classified, of course, go to the forums, and basically you can create a bug report there. That's basically the only way we can actually work on this as a community, right? Because it's it's a big problem. I think if it's just one tank has that and other tanks should receive that and don't have it. But yeah, basically what it is this armor lining over here. See, it's nothing too big, I gotta be honest. It's nothing that completely change direct hit on the MREC, but it does help a lot with fragmentation, as you see, for example, over here. Let's go for protection analysis. Let's grab an APF STS, and if you shoot on the side over here, you can clearly see that almost no fragmentation things actually got into the carousel of ammunition, as you see. Some things can get there, but depending on the situation, but some other things will not. So the lining is actually taking all the hits there. So it is, I mean, it's nothing like, oh my god, it's so important and it completely prevents the tank to explode, but it does help a lot as well. It's a mix between the two, right? Because it will not help against direct hit, but it will help a lot from fragmentations. So eventually you ended up having less catastrophic destructions of the carousel, for example, in this tank, and the explosion of the turret, right? But what they are saying is that other tanks, like for example the Leopard 2, for example, not gonna look at this one, but later Leopard 2s should receive that as well inside the tank, right? I don't know exactly where it will probably be, but I would imagine that it's around this ammunition rack, or maybe in the crew or anything like that. I really don't know exactly. But yes, and a lot of people say even about the Abrams, if I'm not mistaken, or most NATO tanks. So yeah, it would be something along these lines over here, for example, but more of it in other places. So yeah, I don't know exactly the changes that would be implemented if it's fixed, but if you know something about it, go to the forums and basically open bug reports. If they say it's not a bug, it's probably due to them already having information, apparently, or something like that, at least. I don't know. But yeah, very interesting to see that. Hopefully every tank that has this type of armor gets this type of armor, because as I said, it might not protect it from a direct hit, but it will help a lot the protection in a general sense for fragments inside the tank. And yeah, another thing that they talk about is how they are going to implement some form of an HP bar basically on this type of armor, right? Which means that if it gets hit there with fragments, for example, and it damages it and enough, you know, it will become black, and the next fragment that goes through there will just basically not have the armor there, and then it will go through the ammunition, basically having an HP for the module itself, just like any other module inside a tank, which makes sense, you know. So hopefully they add that for the live server. Apparently they are working on that for shortly afterwards, but still, hopefully they add as soon as possible. Anyway, this was it. Make sure to subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys, see you.